Okay. I just have to finish a setting on. But yeah, I'm 3 hours early from my usual time, so usually everybody is either at their job right now or just not available. So I know it's short notice, so I appreciate you being able to be on the call, but I don't think we're going to get many, if any, other callers on today.
Uh-huh.
But, it's still the same subject as, did you get a chance to watch the live stream yesterday?
I didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday. I was cutting grass all day. We went to 2 of our properties and cut grass, so I was gone until like 8 o'clock that night, so I didn't get to watch anything, but I'll probably watch it later.
Okay, that's fine. But the subject of this week basically was, what can you do to, like, if you don't have much money to invest, what can you do with the little money you have? And so I talked about a few different things that you could do. So, of course, number one is being an apprentice to an investor. Of course, you can shadow them, go to them with different properties, and do things like that, and all it's going to cost you is probably gas money. What I was doing for one investor was we were taking pictures for their construction. So they were already buying properties that we had sent to them as bird dogs, or at least property scouts finding the properties for them. And once they started construction on them, they're out of state. So they needed pretty much every other day they needed updates on the construction that was being done and making sure that the contractors were honoring their word and everything like that. And so we were kind of like, slick like security, just making sure that they were doing their job. And we got like, I want to say $25 per house that we did that for the construction specifically. And before they even got houses under contract, they needed somebody to go get pictures. So it's around the same thing. You just get full around pictures around the houses, and you can just do a little side hustle like that. Or you can do something like, let me see. Oh, there was one person who posted on Facebook the other day. They were like, I have 220 letters, and I need them to be stuffed and mailed off. How much would someone charge me to do that? So you can start a little side doing that, either writing the letters and sending them for investors, or if they have them available, then you could be the one to stuff them and mail them off. So there's many things you can do without having a whole bunch of money to invest in a whole flip or rental property and the whole extended, like what's it called? The stigma around it costing hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started in real estate. It's just not true. You just got to get in where you fit in, basically, and see what you can do to make $5 stretch. If your $5 goes straight to gas for driving for dollars, then so be it. You can build up that vacant house list. You can skip trace it, and you can either contact the owners on your own, or you can sell that list off, whatever you want to do. Did you have any questions? Well, did you get to watch the video that was posted on Wednesday about this subject?
No, I haven't got to watch it yet. We've been, Wednesday I cut grass over here at my house. We have like almost the whole 2 blocks and then the 2 properties that we have. So I didn't get to do anything, but I'll watch everything tonight. Sorry about that. But I've been busy. I don't work anything, but I just been busy, like, with our properties and stuff.
Okay, that's fine. Wait, I was just asking that to see if you had any questions but related to that. But if you had any other types of questions, you can go ahead and ask them.
I was. If anybody listens to, like, I think you normally record the conference calls, right? So I was gonna say, I don't know where this was. I heard before, but it was last year. Somebody's like, if you need like letters written, like yellow letters written, you could put like flyers at colleges and ask for like college students to write your letters. Put like a little job, like, I need somebody to write the letters. You can get them to, to take pictures, like you said. I was thinking about that, to take pictures and stuff too. Like if you're not in the state, or you could like, put Craigslist ads, around, you know, in different states, and ask for people to do different stuff. And, you know, like
oh yeah,
you know,
as far as like getting
do it too.
Mhm. It's
But I don't have any questions right now. Maybe the next call or something. You know, I'll watch all the videos tonight, and it's in the unit, right?
next couple of videos. Wait. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. So all the videos
Okay,
are in the
I
unit
have-
where it says unit in the group.
Yeah, it'll be coming up soon. I'm not sure if it's the next video or in the next 2 or 3 videos, but that's when I do talk about scaling. So whether you are a bird dog yourself and you're just trying to accumulate more people like you and just basically starting a small business under that. So let's just say that is not someone who's buying a property. Say you're another bird dog who they have their own cold calling business. It's very appealing for people in America to be cold callers because that they, an American accent just translates better to another American person when they're getting a phone call. Not everybody likes, outsourced phone calling. And so it's more appealing when you have American accent speaking to people. So if that is something that you're doing, then you can, like you said, you can get people off of Craigslist. You can get people at college campuses. What was another thing you said? You have a really good idea. So that is very valuable information.
Yeah, because that would save people that's doing real estate investing money too, because they be looking for little side hustles or whatever, and they could do that. But I said college campuses, and then like I said, Craigslist. And that's you could also post on like Facebook. You know how you post little Facebook groups, like the work from home groups or something like that. You could post them there, because it's a lot of people in different states from there, and then post.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different things you can recruit people for. It was a campaign we were trying to do, but we just haven't found the right people for it yet. We're trying to get door knockers, and so.
Oh yeah.
It was like a lot of training. It's not even a lot of training. It's just something you have to get used to because people don't like facing people face-to-face anymore. They just like to text people. And there's nothing wrong with that, but if you can't get the person on the phone, you can't get the person to respond to your email, and you can't get the person to respond to your letter, you got to knock on their door. And so you can recruit people to do that, or at least, like hang flyers on people's doors. What I used to do for another investor was we would go to a certain area. He wanted to target a certain to take the yellow notices, and we would just stick them on every single door. He gave us 200 for whatever day that we worked. We did 200 flyers on each day. So we pretty much tagged the entire neighborhood within, I think it was like 2 weeks. And so we were consistently doing it every day. And so that's another task you do. People, put their flyers for their mixtapes or their concerts or whatever on your car when you're at the grocery store. You can do the exact same thing with We Buy Houses. So it's a lot of different avenues you can go about as far as recruiting people to do smaller tasks.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do. You just have to be creative with the different things that you're planning on doing.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm trying to get people to expand their mindset when they think of a bird dog. Like a bird dog is not just a property scout. You can utilize bird dogs so many different ways. So once we do our expansion for our wholesaling company, we're going to have office bird dogs and field bird dogs. The field people, they're going to do the bandit signs, the notices, the door knocking, things like that. People in the office are going to be doing skip tracing, cold calling, answering emails, and all those sorts of things. And it's so many different things that you have to take into account.
Yeah, a lot of things you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you could do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Going back to the subject of the matter. I think someone asked about skip tracing yesterday, and when I talk about skip tracing, I don't mean just phone number. Like I recommend using 2 to 3 different skip tracing companies, so that way you can get at least 5 phone numbers for one person, because people move, they change phone numbers, things like that. So you get their phone numbers, you get their current address, and what I also do is I put their phone numbers onto Facebook, and if a profile comes up with that phone number, most likely it is that person. You just match the name up, or it's like a relative or something. So you just match the name up, and you get in contact with them through Facebook. You do the same thing on Twitter, and you do the same thing on LinkedIn. And so you're finding these people's social media accounts. So if you can't get them on the phone and you don't have the proper mailing address or whatever, then you have their social media that you can get in contact with them on. And it's just expanding your way of contact without going up to their door. It's trying to avoid that. But it does take a little more time. It's free. Social media is free. So if you're not able to even afford skip tracing, you can just look them up on social media.
Yeah, I heard about that on Facebook. I just didn't hear about the one on Twitter and LinkedIn. But yeah, that's some good ideas right there.
Mhm. And I did think about Instagram, but Instagram doesn't have the feature for you to type in someone's phone number. For them to come up, you would have to know their name or their username. So that's why I left that off the list. Same thing with, like Pinterest or Tumblr. Those ones don't work. But Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn are gold mines for that. And even if you don't have, the proper phone numbers, you can still type in their names and their cities. So you can, just try to see, or you even message pretty much everybody with the same name. Hopefully you don't get like a John Smith or somebody with a super basic name. My name's Sierra Hatley, so it would be much easier to find me versus finding a John Smith, because there's so many.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a good idea, because most people don't know that, about the Facebook. They think you just, have to look up somebody's name, but, you can put their phone number in there.
Yeah, that's why I'm sharing this information with you guys. I'm not sharing this information with everybody.
Yeah, I was thinking if people don't pay the $5 to be in the other group, that's crazy. I forgot how many people you have in the other group, but you think everybody would have joined, the other group,
Yeah, I just hit 5,100 something in there. And I sent out personal messages to a lot of people. I think to maybe 400 people to get them, just at least to check out the group and everything. People acted like they didn't want to read the description. I would send them personal messages back and forth and be like, hey, you have to, answer the questions before you come in. And I don't know if people can't read or if they're just ignoring what I'm saying. But then some people will be like, oh, it's $5. And I'm like, yes, it's $5 versus that flip seminar that you went to and you would have had to pay $2,500.
Yeah, because they cost that much too. Or you go to
exactly. I bought it. I bought it.
Like the Damon John thing, me and my mom went to a while back, and then a couple other ones. They tell you like 1997, get it today.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they they run around there.
And it's not even a thing as it actually is a good price. Those are good prices. $2,500 for a course. That it is reasonable, considering if that person goes into detail about how to get your first contract and everything, and then you make the $2,500. So in those, they do make sense, but not everybody has $2,500 today. Not everybody has $1,000 today. But who doesn't have $5?
Everybody should have $5. And if you don't, I don't know what's wrong. Everybody should have. You see the problem I had getting into the group, and I just kept trying, and finally I got in, answering the questions. There was some kind of glitch, it must have been. But they kept not coming up, and finally they came up, and I was in.
And yeah, it was a couple people who had issues with that, and I understood that. That was fine. And with other people, after your experience, I just sent them the message. Like, I screenshotted the questions, and they just answered it on Messenger, and they sent them to me, and I entered everything into the database, and it was fine. But, other people, like, acting like it was just too difficult to do it, or telling me that $5 is too expensive right now, it's just like, you don't want to, like, these people, they've been in my group for so long. You can see, well, at least the admin, me, I can see how long they've been in the group and everything, and you can see how long they've been in other groups. Like, you've been in my group for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, but you're not making any moves. I see you posting, I see you liking other people's content, I see you commenting, but you're not going to invest in yourself, and you're not going to be the one to actually do it. So I just stopped reaching out to people at that point because I felt like I was just wasting my time. If they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's their loss. But I've been wanting to get into real estate investing for a while, even before I got on Facebook. But I didn't know how to get started. And then when I got on Facebook, I started seeing all kind of different stuff. I said, oh, okay. Well, it was Amazon, eBay, and real estate investing. All three of those I wanted to get on before I got on Facebook. And then when I got on there, I said, oh, okay, that's how you started and everything. So about 2 years ago, I did eBay. This will just posted 2 items, and I'm going to be starting back probably today, putting some items back on there, getting that started. And then the real estate investing, I'm starting on that. I have a couple of clients already. I just have to find some properties. And but with the property we already have, my mom, when she had her daycare, licensed for 52 kids, back in the 90s, she had bought a bunch of property. She bought most of the property on our street, except for a couple of lots because the people didn't want to sell them at the time. And then a piece of property in Galveston, and then a house on in Texas City. So that's what we've been cutting for because it's probably been raining down here off and on. So all day off and on has been raining. So we got all our grass out the way yesterday in Texas City and Galveston. And I think Wednesday I was cutting over here. Well, helping her cut and then raking up a lot of the grass. But I've been wanting to get into it myself, buying properties and stuff. And I've been looking at, tax deed and tax lien investing. I've been looking at doing that also. And then lease options and stuff like that.
You're in Texas, right?
I'm in Texas.
Yeah. What was that city? It's something Heights. I think it was. Or am I mistaken? I'm trying to remember what your thing was. I was just gonna say, how's real estate down there? Because I heard that Houston was doing good, Austin is doing okay, Dallas is doing really good.
Well, I see a lot of people selling down here, because we had Hurricane Harvey a year ago, and I heard a lot of people were selling their houses because they got damaged from water.
Yeah.
So, it looked like it's doing pretty good. From what I see, a lot of people like selling properties on some of the groups, that they bought, or either they're wholesaling, some of the properties in Houston. And I even seen some in Lamarck, like 10 minutes from me, Lamarck in Texas City. So it looks like it's doing pretty good from what I see.
Okay, well, that's good. I was just curious. I don't really venture out much. My husband's interested in Atlanta, but I'm just going to stick with Memphis for right now because that's what I know. That's what I'm comfortable with. I'll venture out when I'm ready. But I do like to dabble in other cities and other states sometimes.
Yeah. It'd probably be worth it, dabbling in Texas because there's a lot of houses down here. Like I said, a lot of places got damaged and everything from the water. So, a lot of people are buying them up over here.
Okay.
But another one, like you said, Atlanta, I heard a lot of people say Atlanta's doing really good, too. Because I hear a lot of people asking about Atlanta, want to buy properties over there.
The interesting thing is, I'm not sure if it's the banks. I forgot what organization it is, but they're starting to do the zero money down mortgages again. And so in some of the other real estate groups, they're talking about how the next crash is coming, and it's coming. I mean, it's coming regardless of that specifically, but it's just everybody's getting ready to save up their money and buy other properties when they're really cheap, because real estate's expensive right now because the market's doing so well. Mm-hmm. But when the crash comes, they're going to be pennies on the dollar again.
Yeah, I've been hearing somebody in one group talking about that, about the real estate crash. I said, well, I wonder how that's going to work out. So that's what it's going to do. It's going to, like, go down. We could buy properties real cheap and everything.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure exactly when we're going to buy our first rental properties, but it'll be, like, probably within the next few months or so. But we're not going to buy, like, super expensive properties. We're going to get the ones that won't, they typically don't have any appreciation, because once the crash comes, they're not going to depreciate either. They're going to be pretty much the same value. So we're just going to invest in those for right now. But then after the crash and everything, then we'll get into the more expensive properties, because then those will pay more, and it'll make sense for us to invest in them at that time versus right now. Because if we were to buy them now, it wouldn't make any sense unless we plan to keep it for 30 years.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just thought of a question. I don't know if you know the answer, but I see a lot of times in different groups, people be talking about Class B and C properties. What exactly does that mean, Class B and C properties?
Well, because what I just explained with the ones that really appreciate, that's C class. That is, you can call them lower income properties. Mm-hmm. They typically don't exceed $45,000 ARV, or at least in Memphis they don't. From my understanding, it's like that around the country, but I can definitely speak for Memphis, where they don't really exceed $40,000 to $45,000 ARV. That is, typically C class. B class is, the middle, like lower middle class people, not, they're not poor and they're not rich at the same time. Those are good properties. They typically don't have bad tenants in them. They're generally good schools, and the rent amounts are just everywhere. I'll just say Memphis. Rent in those areas would typically be like $9,000 to $1,100 ish, around that amount. Probably a little bit more depending on the area you go to. But then, Class A properties, those you don't really, well, I'm not going to say you specifically, but a lot of investors try to stay away from those if they're buying whole people, though they're typically for flippers, because they're going to flip for a profit, because they're typically more expensive. So once you start getting into the more expensive properties, you have to make sure that the rent amount makes sense. And so you can charge $800 for a $45,000 property, you can't charge, $5,000 for a $200,000 property, and it just wouldn't make sense that way. You have to make sure that the numbers line up and that it makes sense for the renter when they move in. So a $200,000 property, well, I can't speak for everywhere, at least in Memphis, not many people would pay that much, like $5,000 to rent it, even though it might make sense for you to get the same ROI as a $45,000 property.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then you have to make sure, like you say, make sure it's feasible for the renter, but also feasible for you. It's like a win-win situation. You get your like you said, if you buy a $450,000 property, and then you have to make sure the rent would cover, or really over cover, what your mortgage is on the property.
Exactly.
Okay,
well, I appreciate you being on the call. It's been like around 30-ish minutes, I think.
Okay. Well, hopefully, people get something from this when they listen to the replay.
Yeah, I see who looks at the replays and who watches the videos. Good turnout out of this. It's a good percentage of people who go back and look at everything, and I'm glad that we got everything started and we're getting good traffic considering how many people are in there so far. It's pretty good. I I really enjoy talking to everybody who comments, and you especially. You're extremely attentive on the posts and commenting on the videos and everything. I appreciate finally getting to talk to you today.
Yeah, I appreciate you talking to me, too, and even though nobody else got on, I had a hard time finding the description box, and I kept going around, so let me find it. So I tried and tried. I said, oh, man, she's already on. So I tried, and I found it, and I got the number and the code and everything, and I'm here. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to watch all the videos tonight so I can get some value from that. And I appreciate the call, and, we just end the call, and hopefully people that look at it get some, some feedback from it.
Okay. All right. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
The new video will be out tomorrow.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.